possibilities of thought training are infinite, its consequence eternal, and yet few take the pains to direct their thinking into channels that will do them good, but instead leave it all to chance. This is a question that I get asked so much. First of all, thanks for stopping by the channel today. My name is Michael Abney, and welcome to the Energy Sherpa channel. Today we are talking about how thoughts really become things. So I thought about how do I explain that to an audience that is not hokey, something that makes sense and that you can really use, take it out of the airy-fairy world and bring it into reality that you're able to use it and express it. I did a video a couple of weeks ago on the 7 words that could be the key. It was from a book. First of all, thank you for the viewers watching it. And also thank you for your feedback, because I actually had a couple people reach out. Thank you, I appreciate it. It's awesome to know that what I'm doing here is making an impact. That's my intention, and that you're responding back. So it's a perfect feedback loop. I'm excited that you're all here. But from that book, Chapter 20, or Part 20 as he calls it, is a section that's directly related to this. I wanted to read it with you guys. Translated into 2021. This was written in 1918, like 103 years ago. And here we are today, completely relevant, but I'm gonna bring it into the now. Part 20. The spirit of things is that thing. It is necessarily fixed, changeless, and eternal. The spirit of you is you. Without the spirit of you, you would be nothing. It becomes active through your recognition of it and the possibilities. You may have all the wealth in Christendom. This is a word that I didn't know, so I looked it up.
Christendom.
Yeah, I looked it up. It's this word.
Christendom.
And it means that the world that we live in is where Christianity prevails. I'm not talking about Christianity today. I'm talking about how thoughts become things, but it's in the context of we live in the world. The prevailing thought is Christianity. Unless you recognize it and make use of it, it will have no value. It will live like a concept. The thing about concepts is they live outside yourself and you never get to experience them other than a concept. So my goal here is that you experience life, because it's really all there is. It's just a series of experiences. And I want you to have some sort of mastery around it, so you're creating the experiences that you want versus the one that's by default, which was talked about when I first started the video. On number 3, all great things come through recognition. The scepter of power is consciousness. The scepter of power is consciousness, and consciousness is your awareness. You have to be aware of something before you have any sort of mastery or power with it. That thought is also the messenger, and the messenger is constantly molding the realities of the invisible world into conditions and environments in our objective world. Thinking is the true business of life. Power is the result. You are at all times dealing with the magical power of thought and consciousness at all times. What results can you expect so long as you remain oblivious to the power which has been placed within your control? So long as you do this, you limit yourself to superficial conditions and make yourself a beast of burden for those who can think. Those who recognize their power, those who know that unless we are willing to think, we shall have to work. The less we shall get for our work. The secret of power is a perfect understanding of the principles, forces, methods, and combinations of the mind. A perfect understanding of our relationship to the universal mind. And when I say universal mind, I mean that's force, that spirit that lives within all of us. We call it different names, but it's always the same force, no matter what we call it. In fact, when you call it something, it no longer becomes the thing, because the thing that you're talking about, it can't be named. It is well to remember that the principles is unchangeable. If this were not so, it would not be reliable, and all principles are changeless. The stability of your opportunity, you are its active attribute, the channel for its activity. The universal can act only through the individual, us. That's why we're pretty important. We're acting on behalf of the universal. When you begin to perceive that the essence of the universe is within yourself, and it is nowhere else besides within yourself, it is you. You begin to do things and feel your own power. It's the fuel which fires the imagination, which lights the torch of inspiration, which gives vitality to thought, which enables you to connect with all the invisible forces of the universe. It is the power which will enable you to plan fearlessly and to execute masterfully. Number 9, but perception will come only in the silence. This is so important. Not going to come from the chaos of life as we live it. We're out in it. That's to experience. That quietness, that silence is where our true connection comes. It's also the thing we fear the most and why we don't really like it. It's why meditation is kind of hard for a lot of folks, because they don't want to become silent. They love the addiction of the outside world, but it's an illusion. You are a visualizing entity. Imagination is your workshop. It is here that your ideal is to be visualized. Like it's inside of you waiting to be manifested. Number 10, as a perfect understanding of the nature of this power is a primary condition for its manifestation. You have to understand how it works. Visualizing the entire method over and over again so that you may use it whenever occasion requires. The infinity of wisdom is to follow the method whereby we may have the inspiration of the infinity of the wisdom is to follow the method whereby we may have the inspiration of the omnipotent universal mind at our disposal at any time. Number 11. We can fail to recognize this world within and so exclude it from our own consciousness. And when we learn to recognize it, not only in ourselves, but in other persons, events, things, circumstances, we shall have found the kingdom of heaven, which we are told is within us. The principle is absolutely unchangeable. Its operation is exact. There is no deviance. If we think lack, limitation, discord, we shall find their fruits at every hand. If we think poverty, unhappiness, or disease, the thought messengers will carry the summons as readily as any other kind of thought. The results will be just as certain. If we fear a coming calamity, we shall be able to say, the thing I fear has come upon me. If we think unkindly or ignorantly, we shall thus attract ourselves the result of our own ignorance. So we're only at number 13, 14 through, I'm just going to look ahead here. There's 31. So we weren't even halfway through this particular part, but in this last chapter really is everything that we're going through right now. 103 years after this was written, we are still right here at this paragraph number 13. This power of thought, if understood and correctly used, is the greatest labor-saving device ever dreamed of. Think about that. If not understood or improperly used, the results will be, in all probability, be disastrous. As we've already seen, by the help of this power, you can confidently undertake things that are seemingly impossible, because this power is the secret of all inspiration and all genius. I'm going to stop this video. Well, stop reading this book and talk about what was in it for this video. All the ills, all the discord in the world is because we do not understand how to manifest things. We think things are on default, and they are on default when we're on default. So to come out of that is we have to begin to learn to educate ourselves about how thoughts actually become things. So for me, I figured this out pretty early on when I started studying. Well, it wasn't pretty. I've been studying Abraham's stuff for. Abraham is really where I learned how to manifest. Abraham Hicks material. I'll link a couple of those one of my favorite videos in the description box below. But the reality is, A thought is just a thought. It comes in, it could come from your intuition, it could come from that little negative voice in your head. But these things that pop up, they're like thoughts. So we live in an attraction-based universe. And one thought, one negative thought will attract another negative thought. And if you have that default thing going on where life just happens, you have no causality of it, or you don't think of yourself that way. Because remember, thinking it is your access to it. You have to know that it's there. So if you're watching this video and you watched it this far, boom, you know that it is there. Somebody has told you about it. So you're accountable and you're responsible for understanding how this works in your life. Just your life. Don't try to go into somebody else's life, just yours. So what I've discovered is that thoughts produce how we react or interpret a thought. Because 10 people can have the same thought and it be interpreted 10 different ways. It's the nature of humanity. So let go of what other people think. It's just you. Are your thoughts making you feel good? Or are they making you feel bad? That's the first check-in. If this thought's making me feel good, I would go with that one because that is what will expand. And it is our nature to be happy and feel good. It's our guidance system. It's like our own GPS system. If something's wrong, we need to or feel off in any way, we need to look at that and figure out what the source of that is so that that can be cleared. Then you're clear to focus on things and expand the things that you love. Just notice. Your noticing of it is what activates the power of it. So that brings me to the feeling part. The feeling part is the juice. So if you're feeling a certain way, no matter what label your mind puts on it, the universe responds in kind to that feeling. So if you're feeling joyous, you're feeling happy, then the universe is going to send, and you continue to focus on that. The universe will send you more people, places, and events that when you experience them, bring you more of that original thought and the original feeling. It's feeling to feeling. So if a feeling that you have and you're focused on is a good thing, more good things will come. If you're focusing on something or have this nagging feeling of dread, doom, gloom, whatever that is, what you're thinking in reality is not true. Like if you're holding a thought that's not true for you any longer, you will not feel good. If you are holding a thought that's true for you now, it will cause you to soar. You have to discern. It's your life. You're the only one that has the answers to these questions. But in doing that and exercising that and becoming a willing participant, wow, everything shifts. Your little canoe turns right around and what was difficult becomes super easy. You see 100 different ways to make that work. That's easier. And as I get older in life, the more experience that I have in life, the less that I want to do everything by myself. Like I want the support of the universe because I so desperately want to focus on just the things that I love now. And that's what I have been doing. But it also lets you, when you go through that process, you're also going to have to let go of all the things that you've been doing just to survive, because you can't be a full-on manifester in the world. Well, you're always a full-on manifester, but a full-on creative manifester that you're creating wonderful things for the world. You're in alignment with who you really are. You're here to fulfill your purpose. Like the joy is palpable. People around you feel it. They may not know what's going on, but they see something. I've started to notice that people tell me that I look more alive to them than they've seen me in the past. Because about 6 months ago, I really did like have that moment where I'm like, no, I don't want to go the rest of my life doing things where I'm doing something for money. I'm doing something for any other reason than it brings me joy. And then when you do that, everything follows that, including money. There's that. I just wanted you to get that it's this feeling place right here in your heart that goes out to the universe and it brings you more things that make you feel more of the same way. So the only way to be a participant in creating actively what you want in your life is you have to become aware, not of what's going on up here, but what's going on right here in your chest, in your heart chakra, that's trying to express itself like from here. This is the love. That's why the heart's always attached to love. It's us. It's who we really are. And when we're expressing that, then everything else lines up with that. Everything becomes effortless and it starts working. So even if something occurs like off to your mind, that it occurs like a problem, your heart always knows and will always check your head, because this is where the true power is, right here. This is just a computer. This is where the source of all of everything that you are comes through, right here, solar plex chakra. That's connected to everything in the universe that helps you through the day and through your life. That's the part that you want to acknowledge and expand, and that's where all the goodies are at. That's how you access your vortex. It's when you come in alignment with who your life has been calling you to be. That's the key. That's the key. And having a daily practice, or having a life, your daily life set up to facilitate that truth, causes an explosion in productivity that you could have never done a million ways the old way. This is leveraging the entire power of the universe, which manifests everything. So you're a part of that. You're a part of that thing that manifests worlds. And when you're a part of it, you are it, because everything's connected. So it's all about owning it and loving it. And I hope that you guys got something really powerful out of today. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and a like. We really appreciate it. It's what makes this channel grow. Appreciate you guys watching. Please feel free to drop them in the comment section below. Also, if you reach out, I also have office hours that I'll connect a link for that if you want to work with me for a little bit. I'll have access for that down in the description box below. But from my heart to yours, here it is. I am excited to share this with you, and I want you guys to all have a blessed day, and I love you, and thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye, guys. That's me, the Energy Sherpa.